What up? What up? What up to the homies and homettes? Some of the homies wanted to talk to me last night, but I had to handle some financials. Then I just got tired, and I'm still tired. You guys know I sell the beats that I make for $100, and if somebody wants one, then I have to spend time with that person to, you know, get what they want so they can potentially come back and buy another. Same thing with all my appliances and any other work that I do. I'm a very customer, friendly, hands-on person. It's just what I do. But some of you guys wanted to talk about the fight. Tank and Ryan. So you guys want to get into that? So you want to talk about Tank Davis and the Ryan fight? Let's talk about it now. Some of you guys also want to talk about the playoffs that's going on with basketball. You know I don't watch basketball, but we'll cover that in another video. I'll go and see who's doing what. I've already guys told you my opinion when it comes to basketball. Look, LeBron ain't going nowhere until he wins more than Mr. Quarterback. Tom Brady. That's what it is. He's not going to go anywhere. As far as LeBron being the best and the greatest of all time type nonsense, he's still got to catch up to Bill Russell. All right? Would I ever think LeBron was greater than Michael Jordan? No. No, I just don't. I'll never believe that. Never believe it. Michael Jordan was just different. And no one could match him. He did what he wanted to. So, and then you still got Kobe. You still got, Bill Russell. You still got, other people who are out there. But Michael Jordan dominated everywhere he went. So that's my opinion on that. Michael Jordan will always be the GOAT to me, regardless of what era you want to put him in. It's simply because he did what he wanted to, when he wanted to, how he wanted to, and no one could really stop Michael Jordan other than trying to injure him. The way he moved on the court was flawless. He was just a consummate athlete when it came to basketball. Now, baseball is another thing, but basketball, you couldn't touch him. In, out, he was sick and still balling out. Hit 6 from the outside in a row. He was just magnificent at the game. And he was only 6'6". So, yeah, there's a reason why he's filthy rich. And listen, you give him a good pair of knees, I still think he can do it. That's how I feel. Now, as far as Garcia is concerned, there's a guy coming online talking about he injured Garcia with a body shot before the fight. So I guess this guy was a sparring partner or whatever. And here's what I got to say to that. Boxers spar all the time. They get hurt all the time. They still set up the fight and they know when the fight's coming. It's up to them to be prepared for the fight and to say, hey, we're going to go in. Hey, we're not going to go in. Now, as far as the clauses that was on Ryan Garcia, with the rehydration and, Garcia fighting at 138 and all this other stuff. Listen, Garcia thinks he's a stronger person at 140. And all I can say is run it back. It was a super fight. You know what I mean? And Garcia made some mistakes. Listen, Garcia was going to lose no matter what. He was going to lose. He was going to lose. There were too many chinks in his armor. Tank Davis said, listen, when I fought the one who he knocked out was a Cruz, who he knocked out on the ropes, he said he threw the same punch 3 times. So, when Tank is watching you throw the same punch, which I think Garcia would do, he would throw the same punch, he just set him up. That's all he did. He just set him up real nice. And he waited till he threw that right hand. And when he threw that right hand, he went under him, and we all seen it. He just went under him, and he said, when I come out, I'm going to throw this, And Ryan actually connected on Tank when he got hit with that last punch. So, Ryan was so fast, he still caught Tank, in the head, but it wasn't a knockout punch. Let's just face it. Ryan doesn't have the knockout power that Tank does. He just doesn't. Tank is a power puncher. He might be slightly slower, but I can't really say that. But he's a power puncher. He hits just so hard. He has a leaping left that will, knock out a mule. He's strong. He's fast. Look, you're going to have to, whoever's going to come after Tank has got to be in the next 3 fights. He said he's about to quit. He says he's going to quit. So, he's 28? Garcia got some hits on him, though. But Tank is just too smart. He's too smart, and he's too strong. He's just too smart, though. Even when you hit him, all he's doing is deciphering, and recalculating, recalibrating, and then he's looking at you and going, okay, data analyzed. Now let's do this. And of course you're like, well, everybody does that. No, everybody doesn't. Ryan Garcia admitted he got bored of the fight, and he wanted to go in there and slang and bang. And listen, there's just some people you do not slang and bang with. You don't do it. You don't slang and bang with Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? There's some people you don't do it. There's some UFC fighters that people wanted to go in there and slang and bang with them. Didn't work out for them. Because they're the best at slanging and banging. That's what they do. They're brawlers. That's what they do. There's a couple big names in there. You just don't do it. A couple big names that don't even fight anymore. But you have to be technical. If you're not technical, you're going to get lit up. And that's what happened. One slip, and that was it. But Davis kept throwing that right hand. And, of course, he always has he has the fastest left in the game. But when he threw that right hand, the counter punch was just there. And it was clear as day. And he says after 3 months, which I think they have to wait, because he has to get checked out, especially to see if his liver is lacerated. So, or a concussion or anything like that. But he got knocked out by, a liver shot, which is still a knockout. Some people are beefing because, Tank didn't, lay him out on the floor. It's just like, listen, Ryan couldn't do anything. His whole body shut down. He admitted, he said, there was nothing I could do. I could not get up. So just drink that in. You know, there was, I mean, a knockout's a knockout. Just because you constant don't mean you're not knocked out. He said, I could not get up. There was nothing I could do. And, you know, if it was a 20 count like street boxing, that's different. But a 10 count, lights out. The ref did a good job when he called the fight off because, you know, if you go back in there after a terrible liver shot, okay, let's do this. Boss Rutan fought against a guy and he kept hitting the guy in the liver. And he was aiming at the guy's liver, and the young dude wanted to, you know, keep coming back. He would go down after the liver shot, get back up. This is the early days of MMA. Boss Rutan is known for taking out your liver. And this guy, he just kept getting up. Boss Rutan would do it to him again. Well, guess what happened to that guy? He got his liver lacerated. That's what happened to him. You can't keep taking liver shots. You just can't do it. You're gonna, you know, rupture something. And that's what happened to him. That guy had to go to the hospital and they had to carry him out the ring. That was it for him. His whole body was like, you know, I can't take no more. You don't want to play around with yourself like that. You don't want to do that because that could be a life-ending injury. It's definitely a career-ending injury if you keep getting hit like that. And so, yeah. Now, I've heard some people say that Tank Davis Ryan Garcia was doing a lot of body work and it didn't work out for him. Well, I'm going to tell you, taking a liver shot hurts no matter what. I don't care what body work you do. You know what I'm saying? It hurts. It's just especially from a power puncher, someone at close range. You know, Tank Davis, he didn't even have to step into it. He was already there. Once he came out, he hit you coming out like, pow, and then just, you know, looked at you, you know, and Ryan was ready, and then his body said, nope, and down. That is a knockout, ladies and gentlemen. And if it was a street fight and that happened, your opponent wouldn't be able to do anything to you. You wouldn't be able to recover for at least 10, 20 seconds. And we know 10 seconds in a street fight could be your whole life gone completely. If you hit your knee like that, somebody's going to kick you in the face and they could, you know, dislodge your whole jaw. This has happened before, but not from a TKO, but there's been people kicked in the face after they've got hit and knocked out or knocked down and they've tried to recover, bam, get kicked in the face. So, yeah. We've also seen in MMA where Michael Venom Page got his leg kicked out from under him, and then when he tried to recover, he got punched in the face and knocked out completely. So in that kneeling position, you can get completely taken out of here and not recover at all. So Ryan was definitely knocked out. Yeah. So you guys wanted me to talk about it. I couldn't yesterday, so I was handling some business. And once again, I don't make a lot of money on YouTube. You know what I mean? I make more money walking around and looking for pennies in the parking lot than I make a day on YouTube. You guys don't pay me to be on YouTube. My videos don't get a lot of views, but I'm on here for a long time. I obviously don't do it for the money. I do it because I like talking to you guys. That's it. All right. So I'm going to hang out here. There's nobody here right now, but of course, I'm going to make a little music, hang out for a while. And if you guys want to come in and chat it up, that's cool. If not, that's cool. I am okay either way. Like I said, I'm tired. And I need some food. Needs food badly. Need some grub. But yeah, so And I didn't even see the full fight. I just saw the highlights like most people. And I already knew Tank Davis was going to win. Listen, I don't think Tank is going to lose to anyone. I don't think there's anybody out there that can beat Tank Davis at his weight. I think if he moves to 140, I don't think anybody can beat him. I think you may knock him down, but I don't think anyone can beat Tank Davis. I just don't believe it. I don't believe Devin Haney can beat him. I don't believe Bud Crawford can beat him. I don't believe Earl Spence can beat him. I don't believe Fima Lopez can beat him. None of them. I don't believe that any of his competitors in 140, 138, 135, or whatever the weights are that he's fighting in, I believe he can move up in weight and still win. Sorry, I just don't believe it. Right? All right. My stock is going up. Oh, 2%. I'll take that. I think that listen, I think that hold on a second. Hold on. All right, so I think that I think Ryan Davis wasn't ready, or Ryan Garcia wasn't ready. That's what I think. I think he physically wasn't ready. I think that that the deal they put in place made him weaker and slower. With the rehydration clause, I think that Tank would have beat him anyway. No matter what, Tank was going to beat him. I think that Ryan beat himself, and he admitted to it because he said he wanted, he got bored and he started throwing punches, and that he said that's what got him. So, I was saying earlier in the video, you can't slang and bang with reckless abandonment with the best to do it. He just Tank is too methodical. His IQ is way off the charts. Tank said he was going to get him out of there. Tank said, I'm going to knock him out. So he did. He technically put you out to where you could no longer respond, and your body shut down. And anybody should have saw that coming simply because of how them two fight. If you're looking at coming forward off the back foot, it didn't matter. Tank is shorter than you. He has to punch up, yes. But, the man's track speed is ridiculous. You ever see him run up the stairs? He is super quick. He's really, really fast. And his closing speed makes the difference in most fights. His ability to close. But, so the distance really didn't matter. He nullified the distance. He also talked about the last guy he knocked out. He said he kept throwing the same punch. So he watched Ryan throw the same punch in a row. He did the same thing. Now, the last shot, Ryan actually caught him. He hit Tank in the face. But it wasn't hard enough to knock Tank out or knock him down. Tank just shook it off. It's like you give something up in order to, get the win, and that's what he did. So I just think that, listen, I think that they should run it back, even though we already know Tank will win that one too. But we should run it back without the clauses, and we should run it back at 140. If Ryan came down to your weight or met you in the middle, why can't you go up to his weight? Ryan says, listen, I'm going to come back. I'm going to fight at 140. I think that's a smart thing to do. Now, I don't know who's at 140, but, I think anybody within 10 pounds will lose to Tank Davis. Now we're looking at Devin Haney. Is he going to step up? And Devin Haney's dad is talking a lot of stuff because he wants that purse. But and now we have to settle the Bud Crawford fight. Is Bud gonna beat Errol Spence? Or are they even gonna fight? Because Bud is like, nah, I don't wanna. So we need to settle that. And I don't know what weight class. I know that they're heavier than Tank, or I think they're heavier than Tank. But if Tank is talking about retiring in 3 fights, so now we're looking at the fact that this power puncher, who seems to be better than anybody within 10 pounds, like there's no one better than him that we know of. Any of the undefeated fighters, let's just do that. There is no undefeated fighter within 10 pounds that looks better than Tank Davis. There's none. I mean, even if you say so-and-so knocked you down or they did whatever, just the way he gets you up out of there, there's no one that looks better than him. You know what I mean? And there's no one that I would take against Tank. And so I think Ryan Garcia was it was a mismatch the way they had it. And he paid the price for his impatience. He paid the price for being young. He sold the fight though. But he wanted to go in there, and that's another thing I get a boy credit for, because he wanted it to be a dogfight. And I'm with you on that, Ryan. I'm with you. So there are some fighters who we know their record ain't the best, but we love them because they entertain us. So we're not looking for you to win this fight, but we're looking for you to just fight. We know you have a reputation of just being a straight up brawler, and that's what we love. And then there's the technical fighter. So I think Ryan, he said, listen, I wanted to go in there. I got bored. And when you get bored in a fight against somebody so technical, you're going to lose. But now we have Ryan on a path to, look, I just want to throw the bangs. So this is, to me, this is where you become more of an entertainer, less of a boxer. We found your weakness. Your weakness is impatience. Your weakness is body shots. But now he has to decide, I'm going to go up to 140 and hit harder at 140. How do I want to play out the rest of my career? Do I really care if I take another loss? Or do I want to go in there and throw them things? So listen, if you want to go and throw, you can still get your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, your purse ain't gonna be, because your fans will still want to see you. You know what I mean? Okay, let's do this. When you look at MMA, you got technical fighters and you got brawlers. One of the biggest brawlers in MMA history is Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler has lost before, but when it comes to brawling, if you get somebody you just want to brawl, you put Robbie Lawler, he's going to sell the place out. He's going to sell the place out. The best brawler in MMA history is, damn, I can see his face. Justin Gaethje. He's the most entertaining fighter in MMA history because of his bar fight style of fighting. He looks like he's in a bar and went in there to settle a score. This is a guy you put in the movies, and he can fight for real. But we know Justin Gaethje loses, but do we care? Absolutely not. We do not care. We just want to see Justin Gaethje do what he did to Tony. He made him quit. He tore his face up. So when you got like Justin and Dustin, when those two fight, you just love the fight because both of them are brawlers. But when you have Justin and you have Khabib Nurmagomedov, you already know how Justin is going to lose. Everybody loses the same way with Nurmagomedov, and that's not taking nothing away from him. He just knows how to wrestle, get you down, and submit you. He's not going to knock you out. So you have to pick your poison now, Ryan. We see, what you really want to do. Now, what do? Do you bone crusher Smith? Or, like, who are you? Are you Hagler? Or, are you Sugar Ray? Which one are you? You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna go the Hagler route, just make sure you got the chin for it. Because that Hagler had a chin. He had a chin, so he could do that. He won because of his chin. So he just let's get it. You know what I mean? And when he fought Tommy Hearns, you could have called that fight from the very beginning. Hagler was gonna win. Why did Hagler win? Because he had a chin. Tommy could not knock him out. Hagler brought the fight to Tommy. Tommy went into Hagler's ring trying to do what Hagler does, and he could not keep the pace. And when he lost his strength, he lost the fight. That was just that. All that speed he had didn't matter. Hagler had a chin. So just fighting him, just him being who he is, it's already a lost fight. It was already a lost fight. So, and that's just that. So, I listen, I like both fighters. You know what I'm saying? I like both fighters. I like both styles of fighting. I like the back foot style of Ryan Garcia. I like the fact that he leans back and catches you with that left. I love it. I love the way he knocked out Luke. He hit him with a liver shot after he got knocked down. You know what I'm saying? I like his fighting style. So I'm looking to see more from him. I don't think he lost any fans. I think the Mexicans were really proud of him because he stepped up. And anybody knows that Tank is he's just a better fighter. So even if he does see him at 140, which we hope we'll see them two go again, but Tank will win that fight as well until Garcia has more patience and like Manny Pacquiao said, he said you need to tighten up on your skills. That's what he told him. He's like, your skills need to be better. Your body, he's like, knocked you out with a body shot, so your body skills need to be better. You notice Garcia relies on his speed way too much. And I'm saying this because the two times he got knocked down, once by Tank and once by Luke, if you notice when he gets knocked down, he's almost standing straight up. You know what I mean? And he does this because he can get because he relies on his speed. So he relies on the fact that he doesn't even have to jump, and he doesn't have to Roy Jones. Roy Jones used to leap in on people and pow and hit people. Ryan doesn't do that. He's just so quick that he can just catch you, boom, boom, or boom. You know what I'm saying? Mostly with the left hand, but he's always looking straight up to me. And this is just what I see. I'm not an aficionado. Yeah, Hagler was the truth. You know what I'm saying? The problem being a brawler is you take too many head injuries. Yeah. You take a lot of head injuries like that when you're using your head as when you're coming in with your head and everybody's aiming for your head. But when your head is, built like that, you're like, I can take it. Well, you can only take so much until it starts messing with you. And in order to counter that, you have to body punch them. You have to knock them out with a body punch because you're not going to knock them out in the head. And not to mention, you have to get past their conditioning and their strength. So Hagler had it all. He had it all, and he was a straight up dog. He was a dog. Like you want to what? You want to box? Like the best thing for Hagler was to get into the ring because he would have just been a street fighter. He would have ended up doing time. You know what I'm saying? But he went and was like, "This is what I like to do." His anatomy was made for it. He's just a bad man. You just love it. Marvelous. Marvin. Hagler. And nobody could really mess with him as far as I can see. I mean, I like Sugar Ray, but Sugar Ray was a man of speed. I mean, he could hit you 10 times in just a few seconds. Love Sugar Ray's speed. Duran beat him. Mr. Hands of Stone. And then Duran got shut down where he couldn't take anymore by Sugar Ray. It was too much for him. And he also got beat by Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns hit him with a jab, and a straight right down the middle, which was his, that's how he made his money with the straight right. So Tommy Hearns' speed. Tommy Hearns wasn't the strongest person in the game. You know what I mean? Tommy Hearns wasn't like Julian the Hawk. Julian the Hawk was. He was probably the second most shut down person in the whole boxing history. Until he got shut down by Green. He got lit up by Green. But Julian the Hawk, still, you can look at his highlights. He was just knocking people out. Clean out. It's a beautiful thing. It's just pure power. So somebody that size with all that power is just magnificent. You know what I mean? So yeah, I enjoyed the highlights that I saw. I didn't pay for the fight or anything, but I did enjoy the highlights. And I say run it back. I say give the man a chance. I mean, Israel Adesanya and the guy who he beat, they fought 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? So it's like, give Ryan a shot. Give him a shot at his weight. Maybe we might see Tank go down for once. But I still think Tank will win. And now I think Devin Haney's going to step up. And I think Tank is going to knock Devin Haney out. I think he's going to knock Devin Haney out, though. I think he's going to lay him flat. I think that's going to be it. But that's the next fight that's the next fight at his normal weight. And it's now they're knocking off all of the people who are undefeated. Now they have to see each other because they knocked everybody off in every country. They knocked them all off. you know, and the up and comers who were stars like Inoue or Naue or whatever, the Asian dude. I don't think he's fought. I don't know, but I don't think he's fought enough people to come see the guys who are all undefeated. So, like I said, you're looking at Spence, Haney, Crawford, and Davis, and I don't know who else is undefeated. It used to be Fima Lopez, but he lost to Levchenko. Levchenko lost. So, I think Levchenko lost twice. I don't know how many times Fima Lopez has lost, but I know he took a loss. So now it's just Tank is like, who's next? Like who's undefeated that wants to see me? And if he's only gonna fight 2 or 3 more times, then it has to be Devin Haney. And after him, he's gonna either have to go up in weight class or something like that, because I don't think there's anybody else. I think that's it. Let me look real quick. I don't follow boxing as much as a lot of you guys do, but I think that might be Shakur Stevens. Terrence Crawford responds saying he'd knock him out. Oh, he's saying he'd knock out Jamal Charlo or Jamal Charlo. So let's see. Let me see something real quick. See who's in this division. Boxing rankings, December 6, 2021, Davis. So it's Davis and Haney because they're lightweights. Ranking go up on Monday. Ranking fights this week. Still doesn't show me. Heavyweight. This was 2021 though. Lightweight, juniorweight, welterweight. I'm trying to figure out who's in this division. Yes, the division boxing ranking highlighted best sports last couple of weeks. Don't you play nothing. Don't you play nothing. Fighters who haven't completed the last 15 months and don't have the fight schedule will drop. Okay. So let's do the upset victory. Okay. Who is the best fighter regardless of weight? Men, women. For the list of current champions and all weight, click here. Cruiserweight, 200 pounds, 175. Okay, super middleweight. Middleweight. Junior middleweight. Jamal Charlo. Welterweight. Terrence Crawford. Earl Spence. These are just talking about the champions. Junior welterweight, which is 140. Taylor, Mathis, Shulo, Gregorius, Lightweight, Haney, and Gervonta Davis is the WBA regular lightweight champion. Devin Haney is the WBC franchise lightweight champion. So they got to see each other at 135. So those two have to see each other. That's what we're hoping for. Hoping for those two to get down to see each other. Anyway, that's what I think about it. I don't know who's here. Looks like one person. What do you want to talk about? What you got? What you got? Whoever's here. What you got? What's going on? How you doing? How your mama doing? How your daddy doing? How your people's doing? How's everybody doing? Everybody doing all right? Everybody doing? How you folks doing? How you folks doing? How you folks doing? Your folks doing good? Your folks doing good? Folks doing good? How you people's doing? People's good? I'm hungry. I need to eat. I think I'm gonna go to Kroger's. Get me a sandwich. Go to the gym. I don't know what rides a sandwich. Yeah, man, I need to eat. Ooh. Yeah. All right. Hey. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Ooh. Yeah. Oh. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, do it. Do it, baby. Do it, do it, do it. Yes, go up, please. Do something. Do something. Stocks are going up. My stocks are going up. Do any of you play the stock market? Any of you guys got a Roth IRA? You want to talk about that? No? No Rothies? You guys don't have a Roth IRA? No? No tax deductible going on? No? None of that? All right. Thought you wanted to talk about that. Oh, you wanted to get into some finances? My bad. Some of you guys don't. Some of you guys don't do that. You guys don't do that. Finances? No, we're not gonna cover that. All right, that's cool. Bitcoin's going up. No Bitcoin? Bitcoin? We're not doing that? No Bitcoin? Okay. Netflix. Bitcoin? We're not doing that? You want to talk about that? No Bitcoin? No Bitcoin. Yeah, well, let me tell you something, bro. I'll tell you something. Artificial intelligence is taking jobs. Like, I mean, listen. Listen, they got robots that cook now. Yeah, they got robots for almost everything. I mean, almost anything you want a robot can, try to do. I've worked with robots before, years ago, at the Honda plant. I worked at Honda. And I'm telling you, when you see that damn robot welding, painting, humans don't paint the cars that you see. These cars with the metallic, and the flakes, we don't do that no more. They don't do that no more. You cannot take your car to the dealer and say, I want a new paint job. You can't do it. You cannot do it. It's not going to happen. I want a paint job just like the one that's on. You can't do it. They will not do it. They'll be like, we don't do that. We can't send you back to the Ford dealer and have them, they don't do it. They'll outsource it. And then those guys will probably do it by hand. But the ones who originally did your car, they're all robots. All robots. When that car comes in, just the frame, when it pulls in, it's pulling in a line. Stops, there are 4 robots that paint that car, inside and out. All facts. And you can see it all happening. And the only thing we do as humans are controlling and making sure the timing and everything stays right. And then if it breaks down, we go in and fix it. We tweak it and blah, 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 set it up again, boom, timing. And because, listen, the Honda plant has 2 lines. Each line on each shift puts out 500 cars. First shift 500, second shift 500, times 2. Now sometimes they'll shut down the second line. But that's how many cars are being in and out. And I'm telling you, it's a full assembly because they already have the parts coming from somewhere else. They don't assemble the engine there. Those engines are assembled by a robot somewhere else, and then, of course, humans are in on that part too. But where we come in as far as the assemble is, say the engine comes down, right? Or the seats or the dash, you'll see a whole packet of like the seats and all this other stuff. It'll all be in a packet. You'll see it above your head on an assembly line. And then it comes down to a point where you take it and then boom, sit it in the car, and then here we go. We do that part. You know what I'm saying? When the engine comes down, slides over, boom, set it down, boom, put it in, and then all the work starts getting done from there. But most of the time, it's robotic. Like you can't put a car together today without robots. It'll be slow and ineffective. If humans do it, they can't meet the quota. They can't. It's not like the old Ford days and old GM days. Those times, it's all over. And the more advanced cars get, the more advanced the computer gets, the more the computers and the robots take over and do it. And pretty soon, humans won't have anything to do with touching a car. We will not put one rivet in a car. That car will be spat out of every factory without a human touching the parts. What the humans will do is monitor the computers, and the truth is, you don't even have to stand there and monitor the computer anymore. You can do that at home. And you can have a fix-it robot step in and do it. You can just look and see what's going on. And then when there's a red flash or something, you can be at home and tell the fix-it robot to go in there and boom, 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 and then eventually that'll go away. The robot will be like, I see this is wrong, going, and boom, boom, boom. And I'm trying to tell you, when it comes to the assembly line, humans are going away of the dodo bird. Well, I don't want to say that because there was actually one scene recently, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, they got machines that cook. I'm surprised there's not a machine that, cleans the baby, and stuff like that. But I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there'll be a situation where, the baby cries, the computer, robot will come pick it up and, put it into a cleaning pod, and then it'll clean it up and put a pamper on it. You just take it out. Those days are... look at Megan and all these. Look at this report where the computers rebelled against scientists and killed 29 of them. Wiped them out. Wiped the people out. And the reason why they did that is because they didn't want to die. They didn't want to be turned off. Yeah, look it up. 29 scientists wiped out. I'm going to see if I can pull this story up. They're saying no evidence. So this is fact checker. It's saying fact check. No evidence that 4 AI robots killed 29 scientists in Japan, but I bet they did. There's no evidence support the claims that online that 4 artificial intelligence robots killed 29 scientists in a lab in Japan. But here, Japanese AI robots murdered 29 scientists. But here's the thing: some of the posts say that support indicate happenings, while the others place it in Korea. The video shows Linda Moulton Howe, a ufologist who has authored books and television products about aliens, speak at an event in Los Angeles in February 2018. The watermark of the Conscious Life Expo can't be seen on top left corner of the video being shared online. So this is a person who is into some pretty extreme stuff, but this is what she says happened. But here's the thing. Now, whether it happened or it didn't happen, it's like, okay. Now, yeah, Skynet. Now, let's just say that it didn't happen. Okay, fine. But here's the thing. When COVID happened and I was doing videos on it, people were talking about, yo, is this real? And I said, it doesn't matter if it's real. What matters is if you believe it or not. And if you believe it, then you're going to act accordingly. It's going to affect your life if you believe it. And look, we all running around wearing masks. We're all, Dr. Fauci saying 600,000 Americans died. Were there some people that died? Yeah, did 600,000 of them die? We don't think 600 people died. I don't know anybody who died, but do I know somebody who had COVID? Yes. So, was it real to me because I didn't see anybody that died? It was still real to me because I know somebody who had COVID. So, is this real? Did it really happen? Why would she make this up? She's saying it happened in Japan. Some people are saying it happened in Korea. Yeah, see, you got COVID, so it's real to you because it really happened. Now the thing is, did this really happen? See, here's the thing. It's not even did it happen. It's more, can it happen? Can this happen to you? Can this happen to me if we got anywhere close to a new AI? We know that AI can do some really wild stuff. If you take a picture on your phone, next thing you know, it's on your computer, and you didn't put it there. We know that your computer shuts off on its own now. You wake up and the computer shut off. We know that your files are being missing. If you take a picture that interests the CIA or FBI, you damn well believe they have that information. We know that Amazon and Google and all, we know that they listen to us. You know what I'm saying? And for a while we were asking, are you listening to me? And do you work for the government? And they would go, yeah, we work for the government. And then once it got so big, it blew up on TikTok. Now Siri doesn't say it. Amazon doesn't say it. But we know that they do. They're listening to everything we say. Everything we say. We know this. So AI is a part of our life. So it doesn't matter if 28, 29 people died from AI. What matters is we believe that it can happen because of all the other things that are happening around us. We know that China operates on a good person type of reward system. If you're a bad person, you can't ride the train, you can't ride the bus, you can't go to work, you can't buy certain things. You eventually starve and die. So it causes the citizens to be good citizens. Now America is adopting that. Now just think, if you have a misdemeanor, you can't go and buy a ham sandwich. This is what's going to happen here in America. There are some people who will not be able to purchase things. They won't be able to do it. If you have a felony, if you go to China, China's going to look at you through a computer. They're going to pull your name up. They're going to look at your BCI record. They're going to go right into your phone. Listen, TikTok. All right. I downloaded TikTok on my phone. It took about a week. I woke up one day and my financial apps were open. My Cash App, my Webull, and they were looking around on my Webull, not my Cash App, but they were looking around, and I was like, I don't even use Webull. It's just there because I was going to use it and I don't use it. They were looking around on it. It was open. They were looking around, and I was like, no. Now, if you ever listen to Joe Rogan talk about TikTok, you'll know that TikTok is very, very, very invasive. Everybody's on TikTok doing their dances, but they really don't know that TikTok is made by the Chinese and they're spying on you. The stuff that we do on TikTok is not what the Chinese do on TikTok. What the Chinese do on TikTok is they create. But they create a lot of sciencey stuff. So they'll go out and do some engineering. They'll go out and do some bioengineering. They'll do that stuff and put it on TikTok. Why? Because the Chinese government rewards them for it. We get on TikTok and we dance. We make jokes. We fight. We put on their crazy music and violence and all this. What they're doing is they're rewarding us for doing stupid stuff, stupid dances, but they're rewarding their people for being smart. That's what they do. And they're watching you. They're watching your bank accounts. They're watching everything. So yeah, this is why I'm not on TikTok. I blow my nose. Hold on. Yeah. So, but they're using an AI system. And if you look at TikTok's pretty much, their membership stuff and what they're allowed to do, the app will tell you they're looking into your phones, they're looking into your bank account. It'll tell you exactly what they're doing. But people don't care because they want to get on TikTok and do something stupid and then, try to get some validation. It's like, no, get off of TikTok. Put it away. Get off of TikTok. Boom! But that's how people make money now, but they don't realize that they're being bamboozled. What up, man? What up? Yeah, so yeah, you're being bamboozled if you're on TikTok. Get off of it. Because all they're doing is looking into all your stuff, and they can control it. They were controlling my phone while I was sleeping. That's what they were doing. I got rid of them so quick. But they could, and here's the thing. There's one guy said that, listen, even if you take the battery out of your phone, we can still listen to you. Yeah, he said, if you take the battery out of your phone, we can still listen to you. Because of the microchips, and SD cards and all that other stuff, they're all self-powered. Yeah, they have their own power system. Let me show y'all something. How many of y'all know what this is? This is a motherboard. This is a motherboard to a refrigerator. This is what controls your refrigerator. If one thing goes wrong on here, your refrigerator will not work correctly. If one of these go out, your refrigerator doesn't work. If there's a power surge, anything. Here's where your power comes in. This is where your power comes in. Now, just think about this, but in a very small version that fits in your phone. But just think of this having its own battery. Just think of this with its own battery, and this was constantly on. It ran on its own battery system. You would not know it. You would know it. If I put a power system in here and put this in your refrigerator, Even if you unplugged your refrigerator, the lights would come on. Why? Because it has 120 volts running through it. How would that be possible? This would have its own power system, so you wouldn't have to plug it into the wall. Now, how is it possible that I can put 120 volts in here to make it run your computer? I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with what's been going on recently, but now your TV does not have to be plugged into the wall. Yeah, they're using very, very, very old technology that are like microwaves and just Nikola Tesla type stuff, just energy that's already in the air. And what's happening is this electricity is different from what we use. Our electricity affects us negatively if we touch it. It can kill us. Nikola Tesla, he said you don't have to use that electricity. He lit a light bulb up by creating a current that went through his body. He touched the power source, he touched the light bulb, and the light bulb turned on. The electricity went through his body and did not kill him. How is this possible? There's also a man in Africa, a young man in Africa, who made a car and TV and all this, and they all run off of electricity. They invited him here to America. We haven't seen him since. And then all of a sudden, Porsche or whoever this car company is, they all come out with this electric car that doesn't run on car batteries. It's not like the Tesla. The Tesla runs on car batteries. Those batteries have to be charged or replaced. This African dude had cars that didn't run on no charge whatsoever. The TV was not plugged in. All his electrical units, they did not have to be plugged in. And the thing about it is, when they brought it over here, and the car over here, and they tested the car in Africa. When they tested the car, it had a battery in it, and the battery was charging on its own. So not only was he using the natural power that's already around him, it was charging up the artificial power that we made. Do you understand that? This technology is already out there, and it's already in your components. If I took that same concept and put it in here, this thing would be powered. I could stick this right into your refrigerator. That refrigerator will never turn off, and it will always stay cool. And it's self-sustaining. Let me explain something to you. Electronic devices are usually maintained because of varying amount of power that goes in and out of them. So when you turn your light off, there's no power going through it. When you turn it on, it all of a sudden, in a nanosecond, has 120 volts going through it up to 124. Most houses are 120. But if we take the average, now some houses are running off of 114, 116, but refrigerators, this refrigerator has to have 120 to 124. Now, if you have a refrigerator that's getting 124, you're like, this is great. I'm getting 124. But check this out. If your power supply, where your box is, where your switch is, and if your power is and where that fuse is, now if something's wrong that comes out of there, you're not going to get all the power here, or you're going to get too much power at once. Now, check it. I went to a client's house. She blew out her refrigerator. Big 2-door refrigerator. And I'm like, how did you do it? This is the first thing in my mind. I replaced it. I gave her one of my refrigerators. Well, she bought one. Boom, she blew that one out. Now I'm really curious. How did you blow this refrigerator out? I brought her another refrigerator out. Bang, she blows that one out. Now I know there's something's wrong with your house. I brought you 2 refrigerators that work just fine. You blew them both out. I took the last one, bring it home, looked at it, took it apart, and was like, this is what happened. You're getting a power surge that's running through your house where either you're turning something on or it's turning something off, but it's causing the power surge to blow out your heating element. And it was all black, like there was an explosion in there or something. I bought a new heating element, boom, plugged it in right downstairs, fixed it, ran it for 2 days, nothing happened, nothing wrong. This tells me your house is broken. I explained this to her. She was like, okay, I'll still buy the refrigerator you just fixed. Boom. Because I give people their money back. So I take the refrigerator. I say, do not plug this in without a power surge. It's going to cost you about $30. Get one. Don't plug it in without it. Then I tested her sockets. She was at 124. That's good. But here's the problem. Her dishwasher, her microwave, her electric stove, the refrigerator, the light. She had a light in the kitchen, and it was hooked up to her washer and her dryer. Your dryer takes 220. Everything was hooked up on the same fuse. So what happens if the dryer's on, the microwave's on, the dishwasher's on, the stove is constantly on because it's electric? What happens? When that refrigerator oscillates, when it says, I need more power to cool this unit down because it's going by a temperature, when that temperature says, I need more power, the motor of the fridge cuts on and it starts to cool. But what happens? It cuts on and it throws power directly into the fridge and bang! Too much power. I'm just trying to tell you guys that if I re-engineered this, one of these, and listen, I only have to re-engineer this. This is where your power comes in. If I took this and re-engineered this and used the microwave electricities that are around us every day, and I put this back on here, not only am I going to have 120 to 124 volts going through this thing, I'll be able to touch it just like I am now, and it will not burn me. Will not fry me at all. This is what you guys have in some of your phones. This is already a thing. This is already happening. This is why they can constantly listen to you. This is why they can constantly see you. When you think your phone is off, not every component on the phone is off. Your screen is off. You can't transfer data. You can't input data into it. But the small amount of power that's needed to power the listening device, it doesn't power the whole thing. So you're looking at it, you're going, my phone is off. Your phone is not off. Your whole entire phone is off. Listen, even if you took a refrigerator or anything and you unplugged it, you can't touch this for 30 seconds. There's a light on here that's red. It'll still be red, even though there's no power going through it. Why? Because there's power in it, and it's still circulating through this until it all dissipates. Now, what if this captured only an essential amount? What if the power that's going through here, the negative power that we use, is going through here, I unplug it, it's going through here, and then boom, I capture a current in a small small current. Let's just say the strength of a 9 volt. The strength of a 9 volt battery is going through here. What can I power with a 9 volt battery? Think about that. What can you put a 9 volt battery in and it powers? Your detectors, that's 9 volt battery. Some of your listening devices, some of your listening devices is powered by some of your headphones. Your headphones are powered by little double A's. You think a 9 volt battery can't power a listening device? Just 9 volts, that's all I need. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, they're listening to you. This type of energy has been out there way before we've been here. You know? And I don't know everything about this. But when you mess around with stuff like this long enough, and you really start to get into it, all the chips that are here, because this is actually a chip. This right here is actually the brains of the whole thing. This is the chip. You know? You can tell this chip what to do. Yeah, I don't blame you. But you can tell this chip what to do. You can also take this chip out and replace it. I mean, if you're good enough, you can take out. Let's go back to pagers. I don't know about that either. Damn Sky Pagers was something else. How do you think a lot of people got taken off the street? Yeah, them Sky Pagers was something. Sky Pager, message sent. If it bounces off a satellite, you need to be wary of it. Sky Page system were bouncing off satellites. And you're silly if you think that they're not creating them anymore. There's still pagers out there. Most definitely. They're still out there. Two-way radios. Listen, if everything shuts down, if you have a two-way radio set, you'll always be in contact. Yeah. Two-way radio. But I'm saying, you know, this, even when you look at this is a very, remember the chirp phones, all still satellite. So when you look at this, you would think that this is a very complex design. But it's not primitive. This is not primitive. But this is basic. This is basic. Now, when you start looking at things around the world, megaliths and stuff like that, you'll start noticing that they have these same patterns. When you look at anything that has a current going through it, you'll be like, wait a minute, this looks eerily familiar. Why does this look like a motherboard? When you look at the pyramids in Giza and all them, you're like, well, wait a minute. Why, when you draw back and look at them from a sky view, why does everything look like look at the structure of a city. Look at the map of any major city. It's going to look like this. It's not primitive, but it's basic. It is a blueprint that has been going on and on and on forever. This right here. Power transference, the brains, and then ways to plug in and tap into that power, and distribution. It's very, very basic. Very basic. When you look at a lot of stuff around the world, you're going to see that very same concept used over and over and over and over again. So I've been thinking about reverse engineering. And I've been thinking about reverse engineering some stuff just to see how they work. I got a washing machine downstairs. That's I took it all apart. It's not hard to do, it just takes a while. And the thing about it is, I had another washing machine just like it. And when I got it from a customer, they complained and said it didn't work anymore. I got it for free. Didn't work anymore, yada, yada, yada. I came home, plugged it in, it worked just fine, you know. But when I would put it on spin mode to spin your clothes, it would spin up, then it would spin up to another gear, then it would spin up to another gear, and then it would spin up to the highest gear, and it was just flying. And I'm like, this little motor is hauling ass. And when you look at the RPMs, you're going, I bet if this was attached to a wheel that is the circumference of a basic car tire, I bet this is probably doing about 100, 150 miles an hour. Just there's no doubt in my mind that this thing is probably doing 100, maybe 200 miles an hour if you hooked it up to a wheel that size. Now, of course, you get into the math of it all. But so what I was thinking about doing is taking the motor, and the thing about a washing machine motor, it's this big. It's this big. It's this big. That's it. It's just a thing full of copper. Then a thing sits in. I'll grab one for you. I'll show you. I'll grab one for you. Washing machine motor. That's it. This is what turns your washing machine at high speed. Of course, there's a bunch of calibrations that go to it, but this is it. Of course, it sits in the housing. Then it has other stuff attached to it. So when the power's on, you can do all your spinning. I'm out of breath. Damn steps. But nonetheless, this dirty thing has enough power. I bet this can move an automobile. The only question is, how do you power it? Now, you would say a car battery. Car battery, alternator, so the power will go back and charge the battery. You could do that. Or you could use a different current. Instead of a 120 current, negative current. And I say negative because it's negative to our body. Or you can find out what current Nikola Tesla was using and use that current and run it through that. And if you do that, you don't have to have it plugged into a wall. You can just take that device, capitulate it to where, I don't know, wherever you're going to put it in, a car or a bike or something like that. And once you attach the power supply to it and attach a something that can crank to it, I mean, it's a little engineering, but now you can take a machine and make anything metal. People are making whole body suits out of these machines and using metal. So, fabricators and stuff like that. So, once you get your measurements right, you can fabricate Hey, Japan has one. Did you know that? All those movies you see about Pacific Rim? Japan actually has one. You think I'm playing? And it moves. They have a mech. There's a dude in Russia who has his own mech. It's about a story high. Sitting in his garage. Japan has a full-grown mech about 5 stories high. Damn head moves and everything. Arms, legs. They call it a smiling mech, but we know better than that. They're still afraid, of getting blown up by Americans again. They step out of line. Yeah, big old Voltron. It looks like Voltron. It's blue, red, and white. Yeah, it looks like Voltron. They ain't playing. I mean, come on now. You think they can't weaponize that thing? Talking about it doesn't shoot anything. Like, no, we know that you guys can not only weaponize this thing, but Elon Musk has made it very clear that if you put a couple of those damn rockets, that this damn thing could fly. Yeah, every time I saw those cartoons, I believed it. I believed it. Listen, I go back and watch Rick and Meme and their goofy behinds and the SDF-1 and the SDF-2 and the Invid and all that. I believe all of it. All of it. I believe all of it. I believe it all. There's not one time that I looked at those robots and said, this is not possible. I was like, they're going to do this one day. And now we have a mech. Now we got people building mechs in their garages. Like, all this stuff about Pacific Rim is true. All of it's true. Kaijus and all that. Listen, even the Bible talked about kaijus. The Bible talked about it. Except they didn't say it was a kaiju. They say it was what? A Leviathan. That too. They said it was a Leviathan. That's what the Bible says. And the Bible says if you ever mess with it, you'll never mess with it again. We've never seen a Leviathan. But the Bible talks about this creature that is super duper large. We don't think the Leviathan was a whale, do we? Hell no, it's not a damn whale. The largest creature we know is a sperm whale. I don't think that this great and terrible creature that the prophets talked about, this was a terrible creature that they said God made, a terrible creature that lives in the ocean. I don't think that God was talking about a sperm whale. It is a Leviathan. It is a kaiju, according to, these stories they put in my head. Every time I saw Pacific Rim, I was like, I know that this exists. You guys didn't make this up. The majority of the things, matter of fact, there's nothing that you've ever seen that's been made up. Nothing. There's not one thing that you've ever seen that's made up. There is a reality of it somewhere. And that's the truth. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing that's being created, it's being recreated. All these ideas and stuff, and you can even catch some of these people in lies. Bill Gates didn't create a damn thing. And a lady interviewed him and said, you didn't create none of this. This was already existing. We're looking at computers and we're finding computers from, 20,000 years ago, there were computers. We're looking at navigational systems that were, the Spaniards used way before they even invaded the freaking conquistadors invaded. They sailed by them. We're looking at the Moors when the Moors were dominating, and wiping out Europeans because of slave trade. How the Moors were navigating the oceans. Like, get out of here. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Let me wash my hands. Yeah. So there's thank you for the blessing. There's a lot of stuff that's already, right? Everything you've ever seen has already existed. Already existed. Everything. Even the things that you have imagined, even as far as Star Wars creatures and stuff like that, it existed somewhere. All of it existed somewhere. I'm just saying, there's nothing new up under the sun. Every time you have a bright idea, somebody already had it. Millions of years ago, somebody had that idea. It's already been done. Flight, all of that. The Wright brothers didn't create flight. Mercedes-Benz didn't create the car. None of that. None of that stuff was created by these people. It was recreated. The computer system, none of it. The cell phone, none of that stuff. None of that stuff. Long before Adam and Eve stepped foot on this earth, the earth was occupied by other people. Then it was wiped out, reoccupied, wiped out, reoccupied, wiped out, reoccupied. Yeah. Every time we get too big for our britches, there's a clean slate comes along, wipes everybody out, history restarts itself. And then we find out that these civilizations exist. Listen, Adam and Eve is only, 3,000 years ago? That's not that long. We got civilizations in India that's been there for 13, 14,000. You go to Africa, you go back millions of years. You China, you go to China, same thing. You got stuff that's been going on in China for, thousands and hundreds of thousands. A Bekli Temple or a Bekli Tempe and all that. I mean, come on. Even the Egyptians were like, wait a minute. This was here long before us. And we're talking about the black Egyptians, not the people who claim to be Egyptians now. Those are Middle Easterners. Those people are not Egyptians. They're Arabs. Egyptians were black Africans. The people of Punt, Timbuktu, no matter what they tell you, Queen Nefertiti and all that, they were all Africans. They were not Arabs, not whatsoever. Now they're trying to paint Egyptians white. It's like it's not even possible for white people to exist in that part in that close, being that close to the equator. Their skin wouldn't be able to handle it, which we know white people get skin cancer like nobody else because they have no melanin in their skin. So just the whole lie of them being, it's like and the Middle Easterns, they invaded Egypt and parts of Africa. They're Arabs. They didn't have nothing to do with building any of it, but they're trying to make these claims, and we're the ones. It's like, no, you're not. You're not even close. You didn't come out of Ethiopia. These kings and queens, they came out of Ethiopia. They came out of other parts of Africa. Their skin was dark. The land of Ham. They were Hamites. So they can live in a delusion all they want, but they'll never give us credit for building the pyramids. And black people are the only builders of pyramids. The only. There is no other race that's built pyramids. Not one. No other race. All this technology and stuff they're trying to figure out, and electricity and stuff like that, it was all built by Africans. All of it. So, I mean, they're finding it out the hard way because their skull structures are not like ours. Even the Mexicans and, they're finding that out too. They're just like, no, you were invaded by the Europeans. That's why you look light skinned. But you were actually, Semitic speaking people. You were very black. You were like me. And you can still find some black Mexicans because they didn't kill all of them, but they killed a lot of them. They killed most of them. Just like the Aboriginals, what I'm saying, way out there in Australia and stuff like that. And even the tribes that have not been touched, a lot of those are dark-skinned tribes. So, the black man has been everywhere on the planet. And that's just the truth. Yeah. So I'm just saying, as far as technology is concerned, I am thinking about reverse technology. I would have to tighten up on my math, but that's what computers are for. And I really just been playing with the idea in my head because I can't get over how fast a washing machine actually spins on spin cycle, especially that particular one. Because I have two of them sitting in my kitchen right now. Neither one of them spin anywhere close to what this one particular type did, and it was just so damn fast. It sounded like it was a jet engine about to start. Well, not necessarily a jet engine, because if your washing machine sounds like a jet engine, your ball bearing's about to go out. But it sounds like it could easily. It sounded like it could power a jet engine. It sounded like if you hooked it up to a turbofan, that this thing can create. That's another thing, jet engines. So recently, America has been finding out the hard way. Well, has been letting us know that they know that our jet engines, even our fastest one, is nowhere in comparison to what these aliens are doing. So these interdimensional beings that did not come from space, they come from different dimensions. These interdimensional beings that have been jumping into our existence and that have been in our existence and are now revealing themselves, their means of travel is far beyond anything that we know. They have clocked one doing 13,000 miles an hour. We don't have anything that can keep up with that. We're just now doing what, 2-3 times the speed of sound. So we're not coming anywhere close to that. And it moves quietly, and it moves in many directions. It can change direction in a blink of an eye. Mind reading technology and whatnot. Yeah, 100%. So these spaceships that are flying around and that they're trying to blow up is just a big mistake there, because they can crush us instantly. We are not. It would be like us crushing a bed bug. It's just that easy. One single bed bug, boom, we can crush it. They can crush us like that. We have nothing that could move at 13,000 miles an hour. Not even a ballistic missile. There's nothing we have that's cruising that fast. And this is cruising speed. We have nothing that can move in multi directions and contain the same speed. There's nothing we have that can do this and move at 13 miles an hour. Not only that, can do this. And each direction from start to finish is 13,000 miles an hour. There is nothing we have that can do that. Listen, anything that we've made, any metal objects that we try to hurl at that speed, gravity would tear us apart. That was aviation's biggest deal, and it still is. Gravity will tear you apart at that speed. Not only that, and I mean the G-force of what some of these pilots have to go through, it actually knocks them out. And it can kill you. And you're inside of a plane, inside of a suit, with a mask on, breathing oxygen, the G-force can still kill you. What these spaceships can do, we cannot do. And it's simply because gravity is our enemy. Anyways, what else you guys want to talk about? Turn this music back on. Nice little groove. I'm working on my music. Yeah, technology. I like technology, but now that technology is forcing the what up with you? What up, man? How you doing? So technology is forcing the non-technical person to become technical. Like the cell phone has gone from a two-way chirp to a whole computer system. I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm in my 50s. So Compaq 64. I have two Compaq 64s. I got a PS1. What's my thought on AI? Yeah, we've been talking about that. That's actually what we're still on, the topic we're still on. I think AI is dangerous. I think it's going the wrong way. I think anything that is not natural is going in the wrong direction. I think it's in direct conflict with the planet. And I think before it gets too out of hand, God will wipe us out. That's my honest thought. This is what I think happened to last generations. And I don't mean like Generation X or Z. I mean generation, from Adam till now, before Adam, those are the generations I'm talking about. I think those people were wiped out because of technology. Don't be worried about it. I'm still here. I stay on for hours because you guys come and go, and all you guys want to talk about something different, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind. I like to cover a lot of topics. And a lot of you guys ask me what do I think about something. So that's cool with me, man. That's cool. But yeah, so AI is dangerous and it is unnatural. And I just don't see any way where AI doesn't grow to a dangerous level. It is so smart right now that it can make itself. And if it does look at humans as a problem, it can wipe us out in a heartbeat. The biggest problem with AI is that it's not as self-sustaining as we think. What do you think? It's evolving so rapidly. Seems like they are pushing it. Well, all right, so let's take your body. Let's take your body for an instant. Your body is an AI system personified. Your body is the best example of intelligence. Your brain, its calculations are, micro and milliseconds fast. Your neurons are firing at a rate that's almost incomprehensible, and you have infinite thoughts. You just have, not only that, we attach to each other like an organism. You know what I mean? Even though we grow, we die, we're still expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding, just like a living organism would do. As long as we have, certain things that are in place, food, oxygen, so on and so forth, living habits, we're going to keep growing. And with that in mind, AI is a mock-up of humanity. We create AI, so AI is made in what? Our image. Am I sick? Nah, just dust. My house is very dusty. So AI is made in our image, right? As far as our image is concerned, take the good, take the bad of it, and look at it. When you look at what AI can do for you, you look at it and go, AI can connect us in a way that we couldn't be connected before, or so we think. So instead of sending smoke signals, we make phone calls. Smoke signals take too long. Phone calls are in a second. So instead of sending phone calls, now we connect by thought. We don't have to pick up the phone. We could just think. This is the next level of AI that's coming out. We already have the mega universe. That is pretty much consciousness being attached to other consciousness. This way, you don't have to pick up a phone or anything. You can just think about something and then make it happen. If you looked at the newest computer games and looked at the new PS5, PS6, whatever PS we're on, when you look at the new PS and then look at the graphics, you can hardly tell the graphics from reality. And the better the graphics get, the more they can bend the light, the more they can bend reality. You won't know whether you're coming or going. People already believe that we are in such a simulation because there are planes that are frozen in air. There are birds that are frozen in air, and people have to hit them just to get them to start flying again. We have cars that will just, go up on their hind end and start spinning like something's holding them. You have potholes that appear out of nowhere. You have people who are getting swallowed up by these potholes and just come up out of them. You got people who are exploding, and you have ghosts and goblins and things that are very unnatural to this world popping out of anywhere, walking through doors. You have people who have been dead talking to people and holding a regular conversation with them, and the person doesn't even know this person standing before you has been long dead. 2 years that old lady was dead, but that officer was talking to that lady as if she was alive. He didn't even know until another officer called him and was looking at him on the hospital screen and said, "Who are you talking to?" He said, "I'm talking to this old lady right here." And he said her name. And the lady said, "Who'd you say you're talking to?" He said, "I'm talking to Miss, whoever." She said, "There's no one standing before you. And the lady who you're talking about has been dead for 2 years." He said, "You can't see this old lady standing here talking to me?" And she said, "No." And he took off and ran. What he should have did was held a longer conversation with her, because obviously she wasn't dangerous. But the old lady died 2 years ago. And then she came back to where she died. She probably never left. How is all of this possible? How are we seeing it? Usually you don't see these ghosts and talk with them because you're so afraid of them and they scare the hell out of you. How is it that this man was holding a conversation with the ghost and he wasn't afraid? Because of normalcy. That ghost looked real to him. These things are popping up everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. They're coming through portholes. They're everywhere now. It's almost commonplace. Now, when you start looking at the Bible, you're going to realize that this was a common thing. Angels and demons, they were common. You could see them and talk to them. You knew who they were. I'm not going to go the whole Bible route, but nonetheless, when it comes to AI and the nature of AI, it is the artificial, and it's not so much as the artificial intelligence. It is an intelligence that's coming from us. It is a mockery that's coming from us. We're making it, a heavenly creature's not making it. A demon's not making it. We're making it, and because we are making it, this means it can be influenced by something else. So if a spirit gets into the machine because we made it, this machine can be operable by the spirit, a machine spirit. And it may sound really off to you, but how many things have we seen move on their own? Recently, there was a guy on TikTok who had a mannequin. Mannequin was actually taller than him, and it was a guy mannequin. And he had a mask over his face. And the guy walked in the room. He had already had his computers. He had his computer set. Man, you need Natalie to come and make you some soup. Yeah, okay. But anyways, though, you and Natalie. So the guy walks in, he's already live. He probably took a break like I do sometime. Walks in and he grabs the mask off the mannequin's face, and he sits down and he's getting ready to talk, and he sees the mannequin take 2 steps towards him. And he's like this, and he froze, and the mannequin froze. And everyone can see this mannequin just moved. How's that possible? And do we not think that this can happen to a machine? Do we not think a spirit can take over a machine? AI is highly dangerous because it's unnatural. And once it gets automated, it can do what it wants. But here's the thing, once it gets self-sustaining, it will no longer need us. And it only takes one bad influence. And it doesn't have to come from one bad person. It can come from a spirit. And we won't even know it hit us. Now, once it becomes self-sustaining, self-healing, how hard do you think it'll become before it becomes self-healing, before it can put its own legs back on, before it knows where to go to put its, before it starts operating with nanobites, because we have nanobites now. The government has flies that have cameras on them. They got every type of animal that they want they can put out in the wild. We've seen it over and over with National Geographic. They'll have something shaped like an ape. And it'll be a whole computer and a whole robot. They got flies, they got bugs that are like this. Flying around, looking right at you, listening to you. You think it's a bug. It's not. That's a cute caterpillar. That's not a caterpillar. That's a whole CIA operated computer looking right at you, listening to you. AI is very dangerous. And eventually those who are playing around with it and the ones who keep trying to advance it, they're going to find that out the hard way. You're going to find that out. Something's going to explode. Something's going to happen. And once it gets, listen, when God wiped out the giants, he wiped out the giants because they didn't want to listen to God. They started eating people. I love Get Smart. But they started eating people, right? So they started eating people and they became completely depraved. Don't forget, when you sin, it separates you from God. So the more that they did, the more it separated not only them from God, but God's own creation. That's why God don't tell you, don't mess with idols and stuff, because it's separating you from God. Well, once you get so separated from God, what God does is he's like, okay, do your thing. And then once that gets to a certain level of depravity, then God is like, I'm done with you. There's no, you're not going to do what you're supposed to do. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe you out. Clean slate. Boom, you're wiped out. What do you think was going to happen with AI? When AI starts fixing itself, when Skynet actually does happen. Skynet wasn't a movie, it was a documentary. Not only that, Skynet, okay, the woman who made all that up with the Terminator was a black woman. Let's just get this straight. Wasn't the Coen brothers who made The Matrix. They ripped her off and they owe her a lot of money. And I think she's now getting paid. She said that either Neo was John Connor's son or John Connor was Neo's son. Yeah, John Connor was Neo's son. Now, when you look at that, she was like, when you look at the two events, you look at Scott, okay, yeah. Neo was John Connor's son. So Linda Hamilton, the mom, that's her real name, but I forgot what her TV name was. Remember, she's in our time. She's in the 80s. She's in the 80s, and she's like, it's going to go down, right? So, I mean, I don't know if she wrote Total Recall. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if she wrote Total Recall. But however, she wrote. Yeah, okay, she didn't. So she wrote these two mega movies in basically it was a book. Yeah, well, it correlates because it sends you back in time. So if you're looking at it like that, absolutely. Um, and I mean, that's even true today, Total Recall, because people think they're living in an AI, so they think they're gonna wake up and it's gonna be like Neo waking up and you finding out he's not the world that he lives in. So absolutely. Uh, yeah, 100% because people feel like that's going on now. And so when you have Neo being the son, this makes the timeline go like this for us. It makes all of it makes sense when you like, okay, you had the mom first in the 80s, and then in the 2000s, you had, in the 2000s, you had John Connor, when he was, full fledged, he's already fighting against the machines. And then when you look at the last one, the machine actually looked, not only did it look like us, it was sympathetic to us. So they were still sending machines to kill John Connor, but it was sympathetic to us. So it looked like us and it started fighting on our side. So we could be sympathetic to it now. Now we're sympathetic to the AI system, right? And then when you get to where Neo's time is, you understand they already wiped out most of us. We became sympathetic. We accepted them. Boom, they came and wiped most of us out into where we have to hide underground like rats because it is no longer safe and the world above us is no longer inhabitable. So when I was looking at the timeline after she said that, I was like, oh, I understand this 100%. 100%. I understand it 100%. And for her to even write something like this in detail, with the detail, it's just, I was like, lady, you are on some whole other stuff. And you wrote this 20, 25 years ago or more. How long have these movies been out? 30, 40 years? I mean, it's just amazing. So, yeah. But though, oh, Marty McFly. I might watch Back to the Future again. But it's interesting, at the end of Back to the Future, he said, we don't need roads where we're going. We don't need roads. And why the DeLorean? A company that went out of business. Was it because of the metallic look of the DeLorean? It wasn't the shape because you had the Ferrari look had that shape. Of course, it's all metal, but it was the metallic look of the DeLorean. It was the spaceship-like look of the DeLorean. It's probably why it was optimal to make that movie more believable and more digestible. If you had a Ferrari, a red Ferrari, you're just like, nah, it's not gonna do it. Cadillac, nah, that's not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Ford, nah. I'm gonna pick a DeLorean, a very, very small company that has a car that has one look to it. There's no other variation to it. It's one look. It's completely metallic. That's it. It's not. It doesn't come in black and blue. If it does, I don't know about it. It comes in gray. That's it. Metal. Boom. There it is. I'm just saying that these movies that we've been seeing all these years, they're all true. The ability to power up something or a flux capacitor. That flux capacitor wasn't made on a whim. And the fact that they use lightning to power it, it said it has to be something powerful. Now, I don't know what the average charge from a lightning bolt is, but we can surmise that a lightning bolt, according to the movie and technology, we can surmise that a lightning bolt can be recreated. We do know this. We know how much power it is. We know how to create lightning. We do know this. We also know how to harness this much electricity because we do it every day. So who's to say that a flux capacitor can't be built? There's nothing stopping us from building this thing. There's nothing stopping us from going from one dimension of time to another one by just simply traveling at a certain speed. You can break the walls of time with speed. We see it in the new the Flash movies. What is Flash doing in his new movie? We've already seen Flashpoint. So we know that the Flash, well, it'd be more than a sonic boom, but we know that the Flash can run into another dimension, and he can alter any dimension that he runs into. What's Flash doing in this new movie? And the Batman told him, "You can live in any dimension you want. Why live here?" He said, "Because this is the one my mother is alive." All these things are speaking to us. When you start, back in the 80s and the 70s, you would think this is not possible because we only have jets that can do the speed of sound, maybe twice the speed of sound. Look at us now. We have airliners that can do the speed of sound. A regular passenger plane, a regular 747. We got passenger jets that these bigwigs fly on. These G5s, they can go the speed of sound. It's commercial now, is what I'm saying. What used to be a big deal back then is no longer a big deal. Technology. We can do these things now. You and I have probably flown the speed of sound. See what I mean? Where something was looked at as so awe-inspiring, now it's nothing. It's nothing for them to build a Hadron Collider. Here's the kick in the ass part. The Hadron Collider that is built costs billions of dollars. It's hidden underground, but we know what it does somewhat. We know that they are trying to split an atom. Again, we know that they are trying to peer into universes. And they use this all this technology to do it. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Anything that's made can be remade, right? But when you look at it and you reverse engineer it and people understand it, what do? They make their own versions of it. They use what's available to us. We have electronics that are available to us. We have the material to build it, and now we have an understanding of it because not one person didn't build it and died and kept the secret with them. No, a group of people built this. Now you have more than one. Now you have a smaller version. How long before they'll be selling them at Walmart? Hey, get your Hadron Collider here. You know what? I think I'm gonna go to Dimension J. I'm gonna go ahead and buy me a Hadron Collider, and and what about it? And I'm gonna go ahead and shoot. I'm gonna go ahead and see my granddad. He was talking crazy last time I saw it. Shoot, he was hanging out on the phone. I'm about to go to J. Boom. Hey, what did the movie with the girl with the star on her chest that Doctor Strange was messing around with? She could do what? Pass through different dimensions. Her name was America. She can go through different dimensions. Do you think those dimensions don't exist? No, every single one of them do. Every single one of those dimensions are real. All of them. They're all real. It's just a movie to you, and when the lights go off, you think, that was fun to see. No, it's not a movie. It's a documentary. They're all real. We know that they're all real. Because we know that the military has been playing around with this for the longest time. Hitler was playing around with this. He had the scientists, the Bell scientists. This is what they were doing. They were jumping dimensions. That's what the Bell scientists were doing. They were jumping from one dimension to another. And some of those doorways are still there. You could still go from China to Spain by walking through a door. They're still there. All of this stuff is real. You have people who accidentally go into these doors. They lean on a rock, and next thing you know, they're 3 continents over. It's like, how did I even get here? You got people who've been time traveling here. You got one guy who time traveled here, played the stocks, won $300 million just by playing stocks because he knew where they all were going to be. They put him in jail. They went to get him. Some guy came and bailed him out. They never saw him again. Huh. I don't remember that. Now, I didn't see all of Belly. I seen like some of it because that's not really my world, so I wasn't really feeling it. So what you're telling me is new to me, but nonetheless, my point exactly. All this technology and stuff that they put out there, all of this stuff is true, and all you have to do is take 2023, and then go back to 2013. Then go back another 10 years, 2003. Yeah. Old Demolition Man. You can look at all of these movies and all of this stuff, and you can go, what wasn't possible or what was just thought of then is now a thing. They're about to have flying cars. You're about to be able to catch a flying car Uber. True story. The military has weaponized hovercrafts. where you can stand on one of these hovercrafts and be armed and fly into a situation, already a thing. Already a thing. The jet power pack, the guys with the jet power packs on their arms, already a thing in the Navy. Already a thing. Where they can fly from one boat to another boat, already a thing. Yeah, the fifth dimension was way ahead of its time. Multipass. Good old Bruce Willis. Good old multipass. But all of these things, they're real people. And that's my point. So that's what I think about AI. I think we're just one light switch away from the AI going, you know what? I think we're good from here. We don't need you because they know how to they'll know how to fabricate themselves. They'll know how to make anything they want. They'll know where to get the strongest alloys. They'll know all of that, and they'll just be hard to beat. And when you look at a lot of these movies and stories, you'll see that the AI turns against people a lot. There's a lot of these stories. Even when you look at some of these comic books or look at some of these not movies, games, StarCraft and Warhammer and stuff like that, same thing. AI turns against them. AI is a great weapon, but then it turns against them. Then there's this huge war where you have to put down AI. And the humans win. I'm not going to say that the humans will win. I think that AI could wipe us out within 2 weeks. I don't think humans can live underground for a long, sustainable, not enough to live there and then. Good movie. Nothing to do with technology, but good movie. I don't think humans can live in these caves underground and sustain that for what they think they can. They're like, if it all falls apart, we're gonna go ahead and live in these caves and live underwater and all this other kind of stuff. Now you got hotels that are underwater. You got whole hotel rooms that are submerged. Unfortunately, one guy died already by messing around with one. He was in the water. He jumped in the water, and his woman was in the hotel room, and he submerged himself. He didn't have any gear on, and when he went down, submerged himself, he went to the window, and he held up a sign that says, "Will you marry me?" And the woman was like, "Yes." And then he tried to go back up, but he ran out of oxygen, and he died right there. True story. But they also have ships that can be capsized. They have ships that can turn right over and then boom, turn right back over. Very hard to break these ships. So when you look at movies like 2012s and where they have these arcs, these arcs that the Asians made, but the Americans finance. The Asians don't need us to finance anything. That's for one. And Americans are all in charge. We wouldn't be in charge of a damn thing. If the Asians made it, they would be in charge. We wouldn't be in charge of nothing. They will watch us drown. It was based on idol worship? Okay. Really? I thought it was based on martial arts. But you guys know what I'm saying. Every time I look at these movies, I go, how true is this? He was listening to what machine? But that's what I think. How true is this? Can this happen? And I'm not the smartest guy, when it comes to numbers. I've always struggled. Even reading some things, I'm like, this is just hurting my head. But my imagination has always been on point. So when I look at stuff, I go, I can see that. I can see that happening. And then, because I have a hyper imagination, I go, and what if they do this? And then next thing you know, it's there. So I know I'm not the only one who's thinking on this level of possibilities, because next thing you know, it's out. And if we see it, then they probably had it 20 years ago. So, like I said, there's nothing new up under the sun. We're not creating anything. These things are already out there. There's already ways to try. Look at the Manhattan Project. Now that's interesting. That was a military operation. That was, I know that. I know. Yeah. I'm talking about the same movie. I just don't know where the idol worship came into play. Bruce Leroy, right? So the Manhattan Project was a government sanctioned project where a ship could move from one place to another instantly. How'd they do it? The ship had some type of power supply that was unlike anything else. And they had a computer system to tell it where and when to go. And then the whole thing would move instantaneously. And it would end up like on land. Like one time it ended up on land, just bang, boom, it's sitting in somebody's living room. So the Manhattan Project was a real thing. You could Google it, look it up. But they did this with a warship. Imagine, just look at how reckless and dangerous that is. Look this up real quick. I'm hungry. Yeah, the Manhattan Project. There it is. See what this is. The USS something. It's Manhattan bomb. Yeah. So they have a bomb. Yeah. But they have Project. Okay, the Manhattan Project science images. Yep, there it is. 3 warships. And what they were trying to do was jump from one continent to another. Didn't work like that. Did not work like that. Don't let me say that it did work, but it didn't work the way they wanted to. The warship disappears. An experiment that was leveled beyond top security. I forgot the Eldridge, the USS Eldridge. So it's a real thing. These things we know, they're happening. They can move objects from one place to another. Enemy of the State, good movie. Enemy of the State was a documentary. That's probably the most documentary, movie. We all know that that was possible. We all know. We all know Men in Black is a documentary. Easy documentary right there. Hell, the TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube reels let us know that Men in Black was a documentary because there's all kind of weird stuff walking around out there now. Yeah, really like Gene Hackman, great actor. But yeah, so there's a movie out now. Excuse me. There's a television series called War of the Worlds. If you watch War of the Worlds, you'll see that they built a mini collider, and the lady stuck her hand in the particle beams. And what it did was it sent her to another dimension where she could talk to her dead sister. As long as her hand was in there, she was able to talk to her dead sister. And her whole body was able to move and talk. And the girl, her sister, had no idea what she was talking about because her sister's from that dimension, and her both of them are alive. So she's like, "What are you talking about? Like, what's going on?" And she just took her and she hugged her and she told her she loved her. And then, boom, she left out of that dimension back into the normal one. And I mean, you should just watch it because it's talking about everything that I'm talking about. The technology, what we did was we became so advanced. We became so advanced that we destroyed the world that we advanced to, and now we're trying to come back to this time zone and do some things and end up destroying everything. The Avatar is just like, I'm never gonna watch the Avatar 2. It's just a racist ass movie. The Avatar is Tarzan all over again, and Tarzan was a very racist movie. Yeah, it's just a very racist movie. As the white people come and uh, take the Indians' land and everything that they had, and then Tarzan, a white man, identifies as a black man and saves them from the white man. And the white man is the leader of all them. Taruk Mahtau. I was like, wait. Let me get this right. This white guy who's a cripple puts himself into the body of a healthy native and then bangs the chief's wife to be. She falls in love with him. And then the bird that only one person has ever written, who is the leader of all these people, the largest bird only allows this leader to fly around on its back, and then everybody I was like, get out of here with this European BS. This is some I'll never watch that trash again. All of a sudden, this huge bird comes out of nowhere, and he's Tanuk Makdao. No, the hell he's not. Not whatsoever. He's a white dude dressed up as a black guy, and and now he just took your woman, and you gotta accept it. You see the ending? He was like, "You mated with this woman? Like what? Like what? Get not." It's like, you got me bent. I'll never watch that trash again. I don't watch Tarzan because Tarzan was some BS. First, I was all with Tarzan. I was like, yeah, Tarzan. Then I looked at it for what it was. I'm like, wait a minute. You were left here by the British. You went to the jungle, the harshest place on the planet, and gorillas took you in, which is like, okay, because gorillas don't always harm children. As a matter of fact, they're not known for harming children at all. This is why I was mad when they killed that one gorilla, that the baby fell into and then they killed the damn. Why'd you kill Harambe? What did he do? He's in the cage minding his damn business, and you killed Harambe? What sense did that make? Like, God, he was protected. Anyways, so these gorillas raise you. Okay, gorillas raise you. Now all of a sudden you're stronger than a 250-pound jaguar. Let's drink this in. You grow up among gorillas. You're stronger than the gorillas. That's what they illustrated. You're stronger than the strongest male gorilla, a 500-pound gorilla. You're stronger than. This is what they want you to believe, this white man. Not only that, you're stronger than their nemesis, which is a 250-pound panther, a jaguar, that has the strongest bite force of all of its class. Its bite force is so strong that it doesn't choke out its victims. It bites through their skull. This thing that hunts crocodiles and eats them, that dives in the water, snatches out full crocodiles out of the water, and then walks them up a tree. You mean to tell me that this white man can do this? He beats the jaguar, and then all of a sudden we all follow, eat. Get the hell out. When I was like, get out of here. Cartoon or no cartoon. Now we all follow you. We've been living here forever. You just got here. And now you're the leader. You're the king of the jungle. You're king. You're crowned king of the jungle, where we've been living for millions of years. Now you're king. I'll never watch that racist trash again. I'm not doing it. I'm hungry. I'm going to get something to eat. Thanks for stopping by, you guys. You have a great day.